Philadelphia media has been trying very hard to get rid of A.J. Brown for years now, and while it seemed like their wish was about to come true, a brand new report over the weekend, plus Brown himself, threw a ton of water on that trade fire. Oh, and you need to hear what Romeo Doubs said about the Birds' newest offensive coordinator that should have Devontae Smith and Brown licking their chops. Plus, Micah Parsons confirmed something about Howie Roseman yesterday that has me convinced Howie's very serious about gearing up for a massive swing. From Thomas Mott, this is the Thomas Mott Show. Well, the Eagles' reign as the defending Super Bowl champions is officially over. Now, the 2025 season is finally behind us, and Howie Roseman can begin to retool and really reload to try to get the Birds back to the big game. And while the Philadelphia media has been pushing really for years now, but especially the past couple of months, the narrative that A.J. Brown wants out of Philly, Brown himself spoke for the first time this weekend following the Eagles' ugly playoff exit, and he sure doesn't sound like he's keen to leave. And I think I know exactly why his tone has suddenly changed. Oh, and yes, Micah Parsons, if you saw this, ran his mouth this weekend talking about a Jalen Carter trade, but in reality, this tells me one main thing about Howie Roseman's next couple of months. First, though, a fun giveaway this weekend. This is a sealed, unopened Jordan Spector Art Immortal Moments card. It's the Big Dom signed edition. Actually signed by Big Dom himself. Friend of the channel, love Big Dom. If you want to win this bad boy, drop a like down below. Why don't you comment Big Dom in the comment section and, wait and see later on this week. I'll announce the winner. Maybe you'll win this bad boy right here. Now, before we get to the actual A.J. Brown comments on Micah Parsons' Bleacher Report podcast that I think are fascinating, maybe even a more interesting revelation, though, came from Parsons himself, who brought up his near trade to the Birds this offseason, stated the Dallas Cowboys were trying to get multiple first-round draft picks and Jalen Carter in exchange for Micah.
You can hear it still there. You can hear it still there.
So to be honest with you, bro, it was very close.
Okay.
It was very close. Eagles, before the Jalen Phillips, before all them, it was me.
Yeah.
It was me. Yeah. And I was really about to come, but there was one person that I had to play with that if he was gone, I did not want to be there. And that was Jalen Carter. Okay. They wanted a D tackle.
Yeah.
And they wanted to trade me plus some picks. I mean, I don't really care about the picks, but
yeah.
I'm coming to play next to JC. You feel me? Like,
crazy.
Yeah, like so. Sorry, Cowboys fans. It almost. It really almost happened.
Talk about beef.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, for real. That would have been. I feel like the trajectory would have changed.
Which that right there is big news. We'd never heard Jalen Carter's name mentioned in these trade talks the past couple of months. We did know, though, from the offseason that Howie Roseman was actually trying to trade for Micah Parsons. Some people said that can't be possible. It's true. It was reported multiple times during the offseason. Micah said it himself. But now, instead of focusing on the fact that Howie Roseman was trying for a superstar edge rusher and might still be doing the same, the media is locked in on trading Jalen Carter. This, to me, is ridiculous and could not be further from the truth. I read this as Howie Roseman was calling for Micah. Dallas obviously didn't want to ditch him to an NFC East rival, but they would have parted ways with Micah to Philadelphia for an offer they couldn't refuse, hence getting rid of Jalen Carter. JC would clearly be considered, I think, a player on the entire Eagle roster that the Cowboys couldn't refuse. But I think the Eagles heard this offer from Jerry, laughed at it, and hence Micah Parsons was then shipped off to Green Bay. The story here for me is twofold. One, Philadelphia still loves Jalen Carter. We'll talk about that. But two, Howie Roseman desperately wants a superstar edge rusher, and maybe this offseason is his time to go ahead and make that wish come true. Carter, though, first off, I know he had his worst year as a pro in 2025, where he came off a year in 2024 where all of us were saying, oh my gosh, he's about to be the next Aaron Donald, and that never came out to be true. But all of us seem to miss that Jalen Carter was never healthy from the very beginning of the year. He hardly played in training camp with those shoulder injuries, then played injured with those said shoulders, then eventually got surgery, came back, and was still not 100%. And you pair all those injuries, plus the fact that Moro Ojomo was incredible last year, and Jordan Davis had his best season as a pro, and a lot of people, I think, started to think less of Jalen Carter, when in reality, he was just too banged up. To me, though, the fact that Birds' defensive line was able to play so darn well in 2025, even without a healthy Carter, is proof that when Jalen Carter is back in 2026 to 100%, that unit should 100% absolutely dominate. Especially with Nolan Smith, who was also injured last year, hopefully healthy, plus the emergence of maybe their best new young edge rusher in Jalix Hunt. My question, though, now is, despite Hunt, Nolan, and maybe Jalen Phillips, is Howie still looking to upgrade at the edge rusher position? I think Micah Parsons' quote over the weekend all but confirmed it. There's a ton of reporting, basically zero doubt, that Philadelphia was in on Micah Parsons, obviously not for Jalen Carter, but they tried to offer more than the Packers gave, and obviously they said no, but also they were trying and sniffing around Myles Garrett during the NFL trade deadline. Neither came true. But Howie Roseman, this is not just him, making a casual phone call. He is actively, or at least was actively, trying to go get a superstar edge. Also, I want to give a massive shout out to the sponsor of this video, Fanatics Live. You've probably seen this, but sports cards, they're exploding right now. And this right here is the ultimate 24/7 live streaming community where you're ripping packs with on-screen hosts. And easily my favorite part is the instant rips, because every single pack has a real-life, professionally graded card inside. And Fanatics Live, of course, shows you the floor and ceiling value before you even buy. And it's so easy, I'll show you how it works right here. I purchased my instant rip, and then one of their hosts, who is live, and it's crazy, he's like talking to you the entire time, rips your pack on screen, and it looks like I got a 2015 Panini Prism Barry Sanders card, okay, to go ahead and add to my collection. And as with my previous cards here, Carson Beck, for example, once it's revealed, it's instantly in your collections tab. And you can either ship it to your home, because again, it's a real physical card, or what I think is great is you sell it back to the app for 90% market value and credit to keep hunting. Fanatics Live has NFL cards, they have NBA cards, they have Pokemon cards as well. They have everything you could possibly want. The best part is, right now, new users who sign up and join your first stream get a free Instant Rips pack. All you gotta do, go down below my description box, download the Fanatics Live app via my link. It'll be all linked down there, and claim your free graded card today. And that to me leads naturally to Maxx Crosby. I think he truly is, if they can't get Myles Garrett this offseason, the superstar edge rusher Howie Roseman would covet above all else. However, today, there's a brand new update on Crosby that could delay the trade and make Howie's job a little bit more difficult. Maxx Crosby underwent meniscus surgery on January 7th, meaning that according to Ian Rappaport, he'll be rehabbing for as long as 3 to 4 months, which means he's not going to be cleared by the start of NFL free agency. And if that's the case, there are some teams and team doctors who might stress waiting to make a trade, according to Rappaport, and that could push Crosby's deal closer to the draft or even after. We forget the Micah Parsons trade happened in August of last year. While a lot of people, myself included, would like to get a deal done on Maxx Crosby as soon as possible. That way, you don't have to look around free agency. You can let Jalen Phillips walk before re-signing him. Who knows? It does seem like if they were to trade for Crosby, you're going to have to wait till at least the NFL draft, or maybe even into June, July, or the start of training camp. And that's fine. I mean, surely they can wait if they think it's possible, but the decision gets a little bit more difficult because Jalen Phillips is in fact a free agent. And I think clearly they want to bring back Jaelan Phillips. The only reason they wouldn't is if they could have Crosby instead. But again, free agency is March 11th. And if you can't trade for Crosby until April, May, or June, they're going to have to decide on Jaelan Phillips first. And that will tell us all we need to know about how really serious they are about a Crosby trade or any other superstar edge in the making. Obviously, I trust Howie Roseman. He knows what he's doing. However, this whole knee injury for Maxx Crosby does make things a little more difficult. I'm still holding out hope. I think he's worth it. I would give up first-round draft pick, second-round draft pick, whatever you want. Maxx Crosby in Philadelphia could be absolutely incredible alongside Jalen, alongside Nolan Smith. But we got to know what they want to do with Jalen Phillips first, and that's the first domino to fall, and so sit tight. Now, moving on to the A.J. Brown situation, and for the first time, we actually have positive news on A.J. Brown. I can't believe it, but this is really good. Because for weeks now, most Eagle fans, myself included, were probably saying, yeah, we're probably going to trade A.J. Brown. I don't want to, but my guess is he wants out, and yet that seems to all be dying after this weekend. As there are multiple reports over the weekend, plus the mouth of Brown himself, who have thrown a ton of water on the trade fire. With first, for example, Brown on Micah's podcast on Saturday, and you tell me, does this sound like someone who is dying to get out of Philadelphia?
Is there an excitement with some of the new coaches y'all got in?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm always excited. Sometimes change is not a bad thing. I have the utmost respect for KP. He to me, he did a tremendous job, and he has a great heart. But I'm excited for the season. I'm excited for what's to come.
And well, sure, A.J. Brown could be lying here. He could be publicly saying, yeah, I want to stay in Philadelphia. I'm the good guy, don't look at me. And then privately demanding a trade and saying, my agent, get a trade done. I still listen to those words and I go, he didn't seem as upset as the media's been telling us. But then there's this from Sunday, a quote from Mike Garafolo, the NFL Network, who said, quote, there have been no trade talks yet between the Eagles and some other teams, and there's been only brief talks with Brown's camp from the team. We do expect that to pick up in the scouting combine. I will say, though, everyone says that A.J. Brown right now is in a good space, and just in my talking to him briefly, I got the sense that he is much more at peace and much more calm about things. And on top of that, A.J. Brown's BFF, Cooper DeJean, he probably would be in the know. He was asked about trading A.J. Brown this weekend, and he said, quote, I'd be more surprised if he left. And yes, anything's possible. Again, this could all change. I still hold by the fact that they will probably get a lot of trade calls for A.J. Brown. Before this, though, was probably 60-40. Yes, they will trade A.J. Brown. After this, though, I think I'm 60-40 A.J. Brown might in fact stay. I mean, when asked about it over the weekend, A.J. Brown basically reiterated his entire stance the entire season. We are way too talented on offense to struggle this much, and change going forward is a good thing.
As an offense, we just come back and just really watch the tape and just like I said earlier, rediscover ourselves and go to work each and every day. Being accountable and just taking one day at a time. We have great leaders in our locker room, and I'm fortunate to be a part of that, especially on offense. And we do have a lot of talent, but talent gets us nowhere.
Facts.
So it's all about being detailed and being disciplined.
And I'm now wondering if at the heart of the complete offensive coaching staff turnover the past couple of weeks for a brand new Matt LaFleur, Kyle Shanahan scheme under Sean Mannion might be simply to show A.J. Brown and maybe some other disgruntled stars that change you're demanding is finally here. And that, yes, they are way too talented to be the 27th best offense in the National Football League. And if that is the case, and I'm correct, I think A.J. Brown will embrace this with open arms and be eager to stay in Philadelphia for a much more explosive offense. I mean, just listen to Packers wide receiver Romeo Doubs this weekend when asked what the Eagles are getting in Sean Mannion. He said, quote, "He's amazing at what he does. He's very poised, a great coach. You guys got someone amazing." Later on, he was asked what A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith can expect, and he said, quote, "Expect to see the ball. Get ready, that call is going to come." The past couple of weeks in Philadelphia have been a whirlwind, right? They get rid of the offensive coordinator in Kevin Patullo. We all rejoice. They hire Sean Mannion. We go, okay, unproven but exciting. They lose Jeff Stoutland, though. We go, oh my gosh, panic in the building. And yet, at the very, very core of all this, I see an Eagles top brass, hopefully an Eagle front office, that is finally embracing what we've been demanding the past couple of years. Get us a modern offense, make A.J. Brown happy, and go out and dominate the National Football League with the incredible talent that you have. Because that at the core was our main issue with Kevin Patullo and Brian Johnson and maybe Nick Sirianni in general, is that this offense has superstars everywhere. You play them with them on Madden, you're going to score 50 points a game. But in reality, they're like the 27th best rated offense in the National Football League because the scheme is so bad. I think A.J. Brown was upset about that all season long because no changes were had. But if they make the changes that A.J. Brown wanted, that contract is very hard to trade. I think in the end, he might just end up staying and be happy about it. And I think looking at this from Howie's perspective as well makes it a lot more clear. It's his job now, in the next couple of months, to fix the Eagles this offseason and get them back into contention. Getting rid of A.J. Brown only creates another hole he then has to fill. By giving A.J. the offensive changes he wants, he might be able to convince him to stay, meaning your number one wide receiver does not have to be replaced in free agency or the NFL draft. And instead, you can go ahead and use said draft capital or free agent money to fix the offensive line, because Lane or Landon might leave, but also the secondary opposite of Q and Coop. The less holes Howie has to fill, the more chances he can go ahead and, spend big on a Maxx Crosby, or first round, take the best player available. Could be an edge rusher, or, could be an offensive lineman, or could be, a tight end, Sadiq, instead of having to, we have a hole at wide receiver, we got to get a wide receiver. Oh, we have a hole at offensive line, we have to get offensive line. The less holes you have, the less drama, the less panic, and the more you can focus on what Howie Roseman's done best the past couple of years. Best player available, make this team better, and go and win some more Super Bowls. Still, though, time will tell, and I'm sure we're going to get a billion new reports in the next 2 or 3 months about A.J. Brown being happy or A.J. Brown being unhappy, but I think it was very nice to hear from A.J. Brown himself and honestly hear a lot of positive vibes surrounding number 11. We'll see what happens. Be sure to subscribe, follow me here. This week is really when things start to pick up because we're going to start to get more free agent news. Free agency is a couple of months away, but the Super Bowl in our rearview mirror, the new league year is coming up, and it's going to be nuts. Be sure to subscribe, buckle up, and leave your big dog comment down below. One of you guys is winning this bad boy later on this week. I'm Thomas Mott. This has been The Thomas Mott Show.